Welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Spice Gate by Prashanth Srivatsa. The Spice Gate is a debut fantasy novel set in a world where 8 kingdoms are connected by these mysterious and divinely ordained portals, the titular Spice Gates, through which only a certain caste and class of people who have been gate-marked are able to pass through and conduct the spice trade, this interconnected trade network that really provides people with what they want. It is one of those tales as old as trade and as old as time that people want to make their food taste good. They want to have their medicinal herbs. And these portals are the way that these kingdoms are connected to each other. They're surrounded by vast and dangerous wastelands through which there can be no passage. They are really only connected by this system of portals. And it's here that we find our protagonist, Amr, who is one of the spice carriers and exists in this sort of underclass of people. They're the only people who can pass through, but they are given these really menial sorts of jobs and treated very poorly. And then what we see over the course of the novel is an exploration of the deep inequality of this system and the deep cruelty of this system and the deep ways, the entrenched ways that this has sort of rooted into the culture, and the ways in which that can maybe be disrupted in favor of a more equitable future, and the question of what is the goal of a more equitable society. What are ways in which control over elements and control over commodities are falsely constructed, are sort of artificial limiters, and ways to think beyond that. There are also mysterious, huge, terrifying monsters and swords and, beautiful scenery and lush descriptions of food that sounds like so good. And a smart sort of debut fantasy, one that is interested in exploring ideas, and that's something that I really love in my fantasy fiction, to have this intersection of an exploration of idea and theme alongside rip-roaring adventure and really sort of lush and descriptive world building. The Spice Gate certainly delivers on that front. It is also, along with Navola, one of 2 fantasy novels that were out in July this summer that mention cardamom on the very first page, but with so many spices that we have here in the Spice Gate, those cardamom bitters did not make it into today's drink. Instead, we've got something that's going to be a really lovely mocktail here in the hottest days of the summer, when you really are just sweltering with the heat of it all. And so, without any further ado, why don't we turn to today's drink. This is the Children of the Mouth, the sort of divine entity credited aptly with the creation of these spice gates and the fostering of this spice trade, and the relationship, both positive and negative, that these spice carriers have with that divine being. So we're going to start with 2 ounces of rhubarb shrub. I can get my little bottle open. There we go. This is going to be sort of bittersweet. It's a fruit syrup made with vinegar, so the sort of bitterness, the tartness of the vinegar, this really sort of balanced and refreshing kind of ingredient that has just that bite. And I think The Spice Gate really is, it's a book with a bite to it. And then to our rhubarb shrub, we will add half an ounce of cream of coconut. Give that a good solid squeeze here to sweeten things up. Perfect. And we see lots of the food in the Spice Gate be sweetened or flavored with coconut. Just really nice and refreshing there. For an extra bit of zing, we're going to add half an ounce of lime juice. Lovely, lovely. Just really brighten things up and keep it fresh and summery here. Perfect. Get that down in there. And we're not going to add quite as much citrus as we typically do with our cocktails, where we see maybe 3/4 or 1 full ounce of citrus juice, because we have the brightness, the zing of the vinegar in that shrub. You don't need quite as much lime juice when you've already got the zippiness of a shrub in your cocktail or mocktail. And then we're going to add a few droppers full of all of my bottles got gummed up overnight. And I've got a Band-Aid on my thumb, which makes twisting a little difficult today. All right, we're going to add a couple of droppers full of tart cherry and saffron bitters. These are made by 1821 Bitters in Atlanta. Amir, the protagonist, is from a kingdom that specializes in the production of saffron, and so the sense of saffron and the smell of saffron really pervades his sense of self and his sense of home, and having that in our mocktail is really going to bring a sense of him as a character, while also adding a bit of that spice trade mélange and bracing some of our tartar, fiercer ingredients in there. Saffron bitters are tricky to find, but these tart cherry and saffron bitters from 1821 are real winners. I like them in mocktails like this, but also as a way to change up like my Manhattan if I want something a little different than like the traditional aromatic bitters, where we see a lot of those other spice trade sorts of notes, cinnamon, clove, allspice, that sort of thing. They're very different flavors, the tart cherry and saffron and your aromatic bitters like Angostura, but in a pinch, and you need a pinch of spice to pass through a spice gate, then you can make that substitution. Just know it's going to taste different. And this is the real winner right here. Give that a stout tap to cap it. Shake it on up. Perfect. Nice, frosty, frothy, beautiful, refreshing. Get our stemmed cocktail glass here, our Hawthorne strainer, and strain into there. Perfect. Get the last of that, because we don't want to miss a drop. And so there you have it. This is the Children of the Mouth, inspired by the Spice Gate by Prashanth Srivatsa. The Spice Gate is available now. I've got a link to snag it in the description down below. I think y'all are really going to enjoy it. Got links to various forms of social media, including Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky, where there is always a written version of today's recipe. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button, because it makes me so very happy that you do that. I just love to see those numbers go up. It really helps us to find new people. Subscribe if you haven't already so that you never miss an episode. We've got some really great books coming in the weeks and months to come, including my debut cocktail book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 cocktails and mocktails inspired by the wonderful world of video games. Everything from Colossal Cave Adventure and Pac-Man on up to Hades, Ace Attorney, the latest Assassin's Creed, Elden Ring. We got a lot of great games and a lot of great drinks in there, and I've got a link in the description below to snag that as well. And so, until next time, cheers.